Hey guys, it's Matt with Stout Sportsmen here. Scott to my left from Stout Sportsmen. And in the back seat here we have my nephew Sean. He is tagging along today. We are on our way out on the boat. We're going to do some fishing, kind of give Sean some tips and tricks maybe, and see if we can't teach him a little something today. Stay tuned. Alright guys, we're back. Scott asked Sean the other day for a couple of questions that we can just kind of talk about on our truck ride over to the lake right now. So without further ado, first question.
What baits to use for what kind of fish?
Good question. What baits to use for what kind of fish? There's a lot of fish out there, but basically the lake we're going to today is primarily largemouth, perch, rock bass. So that's primarily what's in there. There's some walleye, but we're not targeting walleye today. So we'll concentrate on the largies, and that's pretty much it, because that's really what we're targeting today.
So I will say the first two things about fishing is you either want to give the fish something that they want to eat, or you want to piss them off so that they strike. And that's the two big things with
Right.
bass fishing, is piss them off or give them something they want to eat.
So either like a hunger strike or a reaction strike, pretty much. But the particular lake we're fishing today is Lake Alice. It's pretty narrow. There's a dam at the northeast end of it, and there's quite a bit of structure. I mean, pretty much right from the sides of the lake, you come out 10 feet, and it'll go from 6-8 feet, and then 10 feet more in, and it's 60 feet deep. So there's just a lot of drop-offs, a lot of structure.
Yeah.
So you really got to focus on, what baits you're gonna use for, the contour of the bottom of the lake.
We're going to be trying out different baits throughout the trip.
Yeah, a lot. I mean, Scott and I have fished there enough that we pretty much know what works and what doesn't, and what areas of that lake. Traditionally, we're probably going to be using lipless crankbaits, which we're both huge fans of, and a little bit of drop shot, or I think Scott's going to try some Texas rig today too.
Yeah, definitely more our bread and butters, our lipless crankbaits, and our Senkos.
Yeah,
are our two big things. Of course, every once in a while we get a little crazy and we'll throw something else just to see, give it a chance.
Right.
In this lake, I've caught some bass on top water, so I'm not afraid to try that out. But we definitely know what we're not going to throw. There's definitely baits on there that we're just going to stay away from. But it's all about learning the body of water that you're fishing.
I will also say too about Lake Alice, what I just described earlier about it being very deep and the dam on the one end. When you go toward the other end, the southwest end of the lake, it's pretty much completely different. I mean, it's a lot more shallow. There's weeds, there's pads, so you can get some topwater fishing. There's one little inlet kind of snakes around, and there's some trees and structure off the shore to fish, some topwater and pitch and stuff like that.
And just to mention some other fish, like, you just have to understand what their called forage, what their main meal is. So like for bass, their main meal at Lake Alice, there's these almost like little shiners, kind of little silver minnow type deals. So if you can just kind of match the color to it. With your typical walleye fish, they're going to go after almost like little perch colors, chartreuse baits, and then your typical worm harnesses.
And also, in regards to knowing what the fish want, I mean, that's completely a regional thing as well. Where up north this time of year, a lot of people down south use craws and stuff like that, where a lot of the places up north here, that's not as prevalent. So you kind of gotta angle your baits toward your region too.
All right. I think we covered that pretty well.
Yeah.
What's next question?
What kind of baits setups do you use depending on where you're fishing, like ponds, lakes, rivers, creeks?
Okay, so the first part of that I'll just take, and we'll start with ponds. Ponds are there's two different kinds of ponds.
We're going to be fishing Mike's pond tomorrow too, so there'll probably be a video with lots of kids in it at some point.
There's two ponds. There's pressured ponds,
yes,
and there's non-pressured ponds. And if you can find a non-pressured pond, you can
throw anything.
Yes.
Just about anything.
Basically, you can go out there and throw whatever you want to throw. It's amazing what you can get away with.
Probably catch fish on an apple peel.
Yeah,
I bet.
I'm gonna try that again.
Or lettuce.
Lettuce. When you have pressured ponds,
I'm serious.
when you have pressured ponds, you're gonna be looking for more. You just have to figure out what they want. You're gonna start. You have and this works for any body of water. You're gonna have like your search baits. So something that moves, something that rattles, something that flashes.
Something that's gonna wake them up, get their attention.
Yeah. So that helps you find out if there's even fish in the pond. I mean, I hope you kind of understand if there's fish in the pond or not before you spend your time sitting there with a rod in the water. But yeah, if you can find out where they are and like what they want, it makes it a lot easier. I mean, if you have to slow down and just fish a wacky rig Senko or something like that, and then you just kind of have to give each lure a little bit of time.
Yeah. That was ponds. Let's see here. Another was creeks and rivers, lakes.
And you can pretty much lump all that together.
Yeah, you can pretty much lump it all together. Yeah, it's. Losing my train of thought.
Well, the big thing with like rivers and I guess what you'd say moving water.
Right. You
can have a
water
lake with moving
water with current. Yeah.
Is with current you have to keep your bait presentation still moving, but you have to use a little bit more weight so that you can keep it in your whatever desired
right.
zone that you want to be fishing.
The faster the water is moving, the more it's going to take your line and it's going to bring it more horizontal than vertical. So heavier weight's going to bring it down to whatever depth you'd like it. A little bit better.
Yeah, so I mean that's the big thing with moving water is just to use enough weight. Just understand like that the fish. Some of the fish will actually be out of the moving water. They'll be kind of on the edge. So if there's almost like a point or a bay,
right.
They'll be sitting like right near the edge.
Kind of like in an ambush spot where something that's swimming by, might be an easy target for them. And also them sitting off back out of the main current, it also saves energy for them too.
What if there's a higher current and the depth of the water is like not very high? Like you can't obviously put a larger weight on there, because then you'll bottom out or get stuck. Right?
What I'm visualizing is more like a stream fishing for like steelhead or trout. That's what I'm.
But I mean, it all depends on how you're fishing. Yeah. Like a drop shot rig puts your weight below, so it's all right to have the weight on the bottom, like sit on the bottom.
Right.
It keeps your bait off the bottom.
Right.
And that's one of the main reasons you'd fish a drop shot is to keep the weight up, or keep your lure up off the water, your bait.
That's why he told me to do that. The one pond I told you was real weedy at the bottom.
Do we want to segue this into the third question?
Yeah. What's the third question?
Third question?
How to properly set up a drop shot rig.
Okay. I had said earlier before we started rolling film here. I mean, there's really a couple. I mean, your basic setup is the same, but sometimes I like to use like a VMC spin shot hook or like a Mustad zero twist. So it's a little bit different than just say using like a normal octopus finesse hook or whatever you're going to use, or a drop shot. I mean, with my particular hook, you're going to use a Palomar knot. And yeah, Scott chime in. There's a couple different ways to rig it,
so
depending on your tackle.
The big thing with a drop shot is your weight's below the hook,
Right.
and it creates, you have a lot more sensitivity with that weight not being in front of the hook.
Right.
And that's the big thing to take away from drop shot. Depending on the hook will depend on
Scott's girlfriend's texting, but he's talking and driving, so he can't do 3. So
depending on the hook and how the setup is how you're gonna rig it. And we can show you how to rig a normal hook with Palomar.
Hey, there goes the new mic.
We can show you how to do it with a Palomar knot, but we can also show you the spin shot hooks, which make it almost dummy proof. And you really don't have to have the skill of tying a Palomar knot. But I will say there's a couple knots that you need to know when you're fishing.
Yes.
It's tri-lane knot, Palomar knot, and then you have to pick and choose whatever knot you're going to use for your leaders.
Right.
I use an Alberto knot, and I know Matt uses
I use a uni or double uni.
So we both have our ways.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you know those three knots,
yeah,
you're golden. You can basically tie up, and
you can actually. There's a couple of other YouTube videos out there where you can actually uni knot your line all the way from spool to your braid to your fluoro, and then to your bait. Really you can probably use any of those knots for all of it, but there's certain ones you want to use for certain things.
Yeah.
But then like tying off braid to fluoro for your leader. Scott prefers the Alberto, which is fine. I prefer the uni, double uni knot, but pretty much whatever you have confidence in, that's not going to break off, and whatever you're efficient and fast at doing, because a lot of time if you're on the fish, you don't want to be wasting time. Usually if we break off, we'll just throw that rod down and pick up the next one. So usually whatever bait's working, a lot of time I'll have it tied up on 2 different setups, 2 different rigs. So if one breaks, I just pick up the next one and keep going. That wasn't part of the question, but
so basically, some knots are stronger than others, or wherever one you're better at, you tie them.
And there's just certain applications for certain ones.
Right.
I know how to tie them. I don't know what it's called.
Actually, I think the Palomar knot is probably one of the easier knots.
Yep.
It's fairly simple and it's not very complicated.
But yeah,
if you can tie shoes, you can probably tie a Palomar.
Yeah. But I mean, Palomar is the one that you really need if you're going to use a regular hook for drop shot.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because just the way you do it, it creates the leader length for you.
Right. Yep.
So, all right, I think
we're
pretty good.
We're actually like a minute and a half from the lake. I would kind of. Scott was turning, the mic fell. I'm like, whoa, why is he turning? I'm like, oh, we're almost there. So we're gonna sign off here, and we're gonna get the boat in the water and get going.
All right. Well, stay tuned, and we'll do a little knot tying and drop shot part of the video for you here in a little bit.
All right. See you guys.
We're rolling. All right, guys. So I'm just gonna do a Palomar knot to tie the drop shot. Show Sean here. Had some line. So you're gonna have the hook. Actually, have the hook. Have the point sticking up because it's gonna go like this. You're gonna feed the line through. You're gonna pull out, probably 2 foot. So you're gonna have your leader end, and you're gonna go right back through that hole. So now we have.
Just got a free floating sliding hook there.
And you're just gonna go like this, pull it through. Before you go through, just stick it underneath. Pull it tight. Little
Give it a little lick.
Little juice. Then you're gonna come down here. You have like your tag end.
Yep.
Make that hook stand up. And then you're just going to take this tag end and you're going to go right back through.
Right back through the hook.
Boom. That gets your bait to stand up.
Gets it sticking out, yep. just like that.
And then you're just going to put your weight on here. You're going to cut it however long you want your leader to be. And just tie your weight on the end.
Yeah.
Or if you have a drop shot weight, you can just clip it on. I usually do one overhand knot just to...
Yeah, yep, that's what I do.
Yeah, just to put on the...
But it's always better to leave yourself a longer tag end when rigging it up this style anyways, because that way you can always shorten it. It's harder to lengthen it because you're going to have to retie another knot, but it's always easier to leave longer.
Is that the only knot you can use? Or?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Unless you're going to tie like another leader on, which is just going to get kind of weird.
Yeah.
But this is the knot to use, Palomar knot.
Yep. Good job.